just give it another minute, and then we'll get going. Just because if I'm casting it alone, I'd appreciate some chat interaction. End. Nora? Hey. Are you chewing on something? No? Okay. Right. Well, we're going to spend at least the first part of the cast with a dog upside down on me. Wonder how that'll pan out. Yes, indeed. Alright, let's go. So some predictions. I think we're going to see Weaver banned. I don't know what to ban against buckets, so I'll be interested to see what approach they take on Clotchies to that. Because I really have no idea what I would ban against buckets. Fortunately, I don't have to work that out yet, but... Oracle? Okay. Showing Alex some well-deserved respect for his Oracle. And there goes the Weaver immediately. This all makes sense so far then. Good, good. Got Andy and Stephen. Hi, people. Oh, I've got the overlay on still. Huh. Fixed. That's me. This is Small Dog. Small Dog. You may as well take over the cast. You got anything to say? Other than looking utterly confused by the whole thing. Necrophos second ban. Well, Miss Hook's Necrophos was very good last season. It's a good flex between mid and off lane. Hero's just very strong. And then the DP ban again. DP... I'm starting to think DP might actually be the strongest hero of the patch. I don't know. I go in such circles about what I think the strongest hero is, but DP is just horrifying to play against. The amount of impact you can have on a DP, even in a game that you're miles behind, is just terrifying. Audiobook cast Viz loud? What? Oh, it's because they were right. First pick Tiny. Oh yeah, this is the Stephen Bronze Tiny that I hear so much about. Pepe laugh. 10 seconds. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think showing your Stephen hero right at the start is questionable. For me, I want Stephen to have at least some knowledge of what the game's going to look like, and a hero that he feels comfortable he can win the game on. So, and I don't know, like, I guess they can definitely run Tiny mid, because Goon will play it. I don't know if Custard plays 3 Tiny. Having the option of running Tiny as a support is good. Underlord, decent against Tiny. We'll start with that point. And probably an A or B tier offlaner at the moment as well. You know, it's pretty solid. I wouldn't put it in the top tier, but it's a solid hero. And Snap comes out. I think Snap's not in a great place, but personally, I think I like it regardless because just lots and lots of magical damage. Can't complain about having lots and lots of damage. And the potential for 2 stuns and so on as well. And Snap Underlord is a decent, if not overwhelming lane. And then out comes the Bane. So because we know Steven's playing the Tiny, we have a bit of a cheat here. They could well be thinking this is a Goon mid Tiny. But we know that this is probably the safe lane in the offlane shown. Or imagine it's Alex playing this as 4 Snap and not Phil playing it as 5 Snap. Big ban, showing Alex some respect, but I think the Snap's his hero. I might speed the draft up, actually. Let's put it on 2 times, right? I'll pause it if there's anything particularly interesting to talk about. Let's just put it on 4 times. Pugnaban, strong hero. Goon plays it. Trenchy loves it as support. Makes sense. CK Ban, that's just kind of Matt's iconic. I want to stomp the game hero. I think makes sense. Lifestealer Ban. They're still going after carry heroes, so they are thinking this could be a Goon Tiny, which is a good read because it could be. We know it won't be, but it could be. Silencer Ban. Good against Bane. They don't want it themselves, but it is good against Snap. And there goes the Lena, which is another Trenchington hero with some mid-flex potential. Chikiro, just pausing that, we'll slow down for that for a moment. Chikiro, very popular in IDL at the moment, normally because it has some flex potential, but it's historically just been like the most popular 5 ever in IDL, so fine. They're just picking up a 5 that is solid and, you know, has a lot of damage, can contribute continually through the game, a lot to like about it. Then we have Disrupt. There's nothing really inviting a Disruptor pick so far. I guess you have something of a range to counter the Snapple, but I'm not excited by the Disruptor pick. I don't really know what it's for. Axe is, again, he's at most a B tier offlaner. I really enjoy him and think he's very good against a certain type of carry. I won't say too much more about that, but he's not a top tier offlane hero right now. Maybe it's just one that Custer feels a little bit more comfortable with. But then you can end up in a situation like this, where he isn't great for a lot of the game against Medusa. Once you get your shard on Axe, on the other hand, you can be extremely good against Medusa if you can actually get on top of her. Like, you can just make it so Medusa does no damage to you ever. OD ban, AM ban. Just to protect this Medusa, because I think this could be a mid-tiny. Interestingly, one of the carries with the best matchup against Medusa is carry Dawnbreaker. Really, until I played that matchup, did not understand why at all. But, you know, the Starbreaker, etc. is just so good. You just sit on top of the Medusa. DK and Conquer, fine, not too excited about that. I think just going into these last picks then, mid-heroes. Clotchies really are lacking damage right now. Like, one of the things about Axe, and one of the reasons I think this Axe Disrupt is going to be a problem, is Axe needs to partner with a high damage hero. Certainly at least until you get the Blade Mail, but actually you're not going to get that much spin or Blade Mail damage against anything you've seen here. Which is partly why I think this Axe pick is a mistake, even before you account for the Medusa. So I don't know who Axe is like. Axe doesn't really have much potential for solo pickoffs, and even with the Disruptor accompanying it, your duo pickoff play is kind of limited. So now you're looking at playing as a 4, and Bane Disruptor Axe is quite a low damage set. So you need something with a lot of damage here to fill up this draft. On the other hand, Bring Back Buckets I think are a little bit more flexible. What do they have? They have plenty of Wave Shove, tons of it. Some decent tower take, not great, but it's okay. You know, it's a 5 Jakiro, let's not get too excited, and a 4 snap. But they both contribute a bit towards sieging towers. You can defend buildings very effectively with Jakiro Underlord. They don't really have much in the way of Roche. Snap enables it a bit, but they still have a pretty darn slow Roche lineup. But they both teams do. Neither team here has anything that's going to enable them to Roche. And Pewdie Clotchies, they need hero damage more than Roche or tower damage in this. Tower damage, they've got the tiny 4 at least, but yeah. So I wouldn't mind bringing back Buckets finding something that helps them Roche. Otherwise, I think they're pretty flexible. They don't have, you know, they've answered most drafting questions so far here. So how are these guys going to answer their damage problems? That's the first question. With a Void Spirit. Okay. And that does answer their damage problems very happily. So now you're probably just picking for a good matchup against the Void Spirit mid. I know what they do actually pick, so I can't say too much, but, you know, spoilers and all that. It's the Leshrac. Lesh is seemingly quite a strong hero at the moment, quite popular. Historically very good in the mid matchups against the Spirits. It gives them some more tower push, which, you know, we said they had some moderate amount, but not huge tons. They also have, you know, a stun or a root on every hero except the Medusa. Every single hero has efficient and quick ways to clear waves. They're a very, like, I'm going to say fast-paced, not in the sense of they necessarily need to end the game early or anything like that, but in their ability to do the things they want to do. They can, when they're like, we want to go take this building or we want to get waves pushed in or something like that, they can do those things quickly. Their ability to execute plans is fast. They don't necessarily have the best responsive draft, though, I will say that. Maybe they aren't great at responding to pressure from the other team. That might be a weakness of this Radiant draft, but otherwise, I think, you know, it looks pretty solid. I need to turn the speed down now. Okay. Switch to Director Cam for a moment. Director Cam wants us to see fix. Understandable, understandable. Matt BMing Custard there. That'll be a warning.
I've been dreaming of this moment.
30 seconds to battle. As pressure builds, the stalwart remain true.
Something seems to be going on in the bot lane. They're invading aggressively. And they have walked into a 3-man dual breath and some snap spells. Oh, the cookie just misses. Custard's still here? Question mark? Okay. Yeah, so as I expected, it's this Trenchy to sub turn. I think this lane is gonna. I mean, it might lane fine. I just don't know how much they get done afterwards. They're gonna have to pair up with this Void Spirit to solve their damage problems. This mid lane, it's not easy for Void Spirit. This, however, the the real advantage to Goon for what just happened there is the creeps are attacking Matt's range creep. You don't want that to happen if you're, you know, you don't. My God, words are hard today. As the mid laner, you don't want creeps to drag onto your range creep. Not unless you're at least going to get rid of theirs early as well, because in theory you should just reach level 2 later than the other hero, and you can't really harass properly because there's a bunch of creeps that are going to whack you whenever you do. You don't want to be at a creep deficit in the mid lane if you can avoid it. Certainly not in this matchup. So that's a tiny mistake from Matt here, which isn't going to matter because he managed to get a deny on a creep, which I think Goon could have got, to be honest, but yeah, nevertheless a mid lesson there. Like, in theory, Goon should be level 2 now and able to pressure into this with a point and Q. Instead, I think Matt's going to get a perfect first wave. No, he's going to miss one. Miss 2? Miss 2. But he does get the experience. I guess Goon is 2 now, though. That's nice. Goon's showing too much respect here, but he does very nicely to get both those last hits. Right, we'll talk more about the mid lane in a minute, because obviously I'm always fascinated by mid matchups. Trenchy is just hanging out in these trees with the clarity rolling. I presume his plan is just to repeatedly spam that. They're gonna also then battle hunger some fools. Custard misses that range creep. They don't really have a great way of securing range creeps actually either. And in this top lane, 2-2 for Steven, not a bad start. Misuk also off to a fine start. He's got level 1 point of Firestorm, which we saw from that brawl down earlier, but does mean he misses out on the Atrophy Aura, which is very good in this lane against Tiny. 5% damage reduction, you're knocking, what is it? when he has his tree on, he's doing 80 odd damage, so 10% B8. So you're knocking 4 so damage off. It's more significant than you'd think. As well as, you know, he would get vamping damage, like he's got 6 right now, which makes him much more competitive last hitting than against a tiny than most heroes. Goon doing fine out this mid lane so far. 10 and 1 plays 9 and 2. In theory, Matt can get up to 12 and 2 here. But, you know, for a lane that is somewhat tricky for a Spirit, doing fine so far. Looking back down to the bot lane. Andy looks to be struggling a little bit so far. He's got plenty of damage, bought tons of stats. Kind of.
There is little hope for Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, not quite sure why. Just missed 2 CS there, I think he could have got. Maybe he's just a little bit rusty on his Medusa. Some pressure coming onto Alex in this top lane. Gets a good cookie, but I think the tree throw. Nope. Fix gets the last hit with an auto attack instead. Gets the salve off. Misshook doesn't have any mana to cancel it. 13 and 3 and 13 and 1 in the mid lane, and oh, Goon coming under some pressure. He's got a wand, good. That's what I say, he needs a stick, but he's got one. They both miss a bunch of last hits in that pressure trade. Oh, they get Steven in the top lane. Just rewinding, Misshook's chasing him through a wave. Steven's hitting with his tree a bit, he just gets cookied. Just gets caught out. And he's going to miss a few creeps here. That's going to hurt. At least it's not under his tower. If you're ever in a position to kill their like core and then immediately push under tower, do it, because then the core misses a ton of experience. As it is, Steven's probably going to miss 3 creeps worth. Maybe 4. Trenchy's sticking with his plan here. No fairy fires though, so yeah. Bit of a noob really. Gets some decent damage out, but takes 2 tower hits and a dual breath for it, so actually he's gonna end up using his salve here, I reckon. Yeah. Nelson doing a good job to remove the battle hunger and get the range creep. Good use of snake. Meanwhile, many mid lanes away. Lane's still pretty even. Goon's still doing just fine.
You didn't want that. Not for you.
On the top lane, I mean, both the carries are struggling again. We've seen that quite a bit this season. Carries struggling a bit more. You know, we saw both Yam and Ali in our game yesterday struggle, with Ali having, I think, the worst laning phase of any of the cores. I do think this is probably the strongest set of off lanes we've seen in IDL for a very long time. You know, I think this Misshook Sabata one is very good. I mean, I think the Custard Trenchy one is potentially one of the weaker ones and still very strong. So.
Has been killed. Each brave courier knows the risks.
So it goes.
Ah, Andy is CSing like a potato. Okay. Mid, 20 and 10, 23 and 3. Matt's started to pull off to a little lead now. Good use of Pulse Nova should have that effect. Kaya into BKB looks perfectly reasonable. Nice, they're going to make sure they get the rune. Goon gets it, Imbus. Oh, he did not need to step there, and if he wanted to do it, he could have gone through Matt. Oh, coming under some pressure here. He's going to try and get aggressive here. You don't have the damage for this now. It looks very close, but he's going to die.
Your desolation and the world's.
Yeah, so I could see that one happening. He just, like, without that second step, he just tiny bit on shorter damage with these spells. Maybe he could have stepped out the stun, but I don't think anyone would really have the foresight to do that. So, it's not doing poorly. Everyone's doing okay now. Let's just have a look at the net worths. Yeah, so that kill just means that Matt is a little bit ahead of the rest of the cores, and Andy is still just, a similar distance behind the rest of the cores. So it's a pretty even game state. Even the supports are all very close together. Just a very even game state, I think, this right now. Any interactions? Oh. Oof. I think Goon is playing a little bit scared with his use of these steps. Oh, he tries with the Remnant last hit and Matt still gets the... Rough. Yeah, I mean, he's at the point now where it's just very hard to play this lane as a Void Spirit. Ideally, what you do here is you go in either jungle or you rotate, and you give up the lane to one of your supports. They just don't really have a support who particularly uses that greed well here. Matt bottles Arcane Moon, goes in front of Bounty Rune as well. He's checking for stacks, there aren't any. If there were stacks, I imagine his plan would be to use the Arcane Rune to farm them. So instead now he's going to rotate to top and get a kill on Fix. No, Fix is just out of range right now. Trenchy's up here. Goon and Steven making a counter move on Sabasa. Matt does manage to run down Trenchy. So it's a 1-for-1, but Dire do commit one more hero up here. Matt's now going to TP down to bot and look at Custard. Custard's item build is reasonable, his skill build is reasonable, but there's no point calling a solo Jakiro with no creeps near it, because you don't kill it. I think the Void Spirit could 100% rotate bot, Andy, and kill you at this point in the game, with the axe. Oh, they get Steven again with the cookie play. Alright, Void Spears are here with a lot of damage, particularly now he's got to the 4 points in Dissimulate. Step Remnant Dissimulate is, it's a lot of damage. It's like 600 odd just with those 3 spells before anything else. Chuck on the Resonant Pulse. Like, you're talking 750 just from 1 spell rotation. You've got another Astral Step. It's enough damage with any help to kill someone. Oops, Steven having some trouble mid. He's TP'd out there to look for a bit of farm, but hard for him to stand against the Lesh. They do bring down the Jakiro in the bot lane, but Dunk was on cooldown from the previous attempt, so no permanent armor. Goon now sat up here against Misuk. Thing is, he's got a lot of damage, but he can't do this on his own. And he doesn't really want to sit just against an Underlord and sit in a lane like this. I don't like this. This isn't the pace of play that you want on one of these spirits, really. And the wagon goes down early there, so they only actually get a third of the tower with it. Steven doing some stacking. He's got 3 points in the G grab, so he's going to keep farming away. Unless I miss my guess, at this point you should identify that you're not going to finish Echo and have money for Shard at 15 and probably wait on getting the Echo. Call it 350 GPM. Yeah, no. No way. Yeah. They get the Jakiro in the bot lane again. They're going on the Medusa, but the Medusa ult goes out. And the Shrek turns up also. Oh, Trenches just walked in and killed himself. I think. Maybe the glimpse is enough. Yeah, the glimpse is enough. Nice. But they have lost their mid tower. Their top tower is still coming under a lot of pressure. I think Goon can die here. He's going to be very careful. Alex is setting up to try and cookie onto him if he steps up. Stephen getting wrapped on by the Matthew player. But it's it is a good avalanche to get him some space. Right, he's got the full Oblivion staff. I think he should probably leave it there unless he has a very quick gold influx. A kill or two would do it.
A gift from the Tempest of God's middle tower is under attack.
Oh. They do bring down Alex. Meanwhile, Cuss is trying to chase down Matt, but not happening. I think Custard now just needs to try and find a way to farm his Blink and then get active. Goon just looking straight at KNS. He probably needs a BKB at a relatively early timing in this game, though. Fix getting caught out on the river here. Maybe he lives. Yep. No. Oh, the pig pole. I've not accounted for the pig pole. Doesn't matter, it seems. Trenchy and Custard looking to see whether they can find Matt, but he's TP'd out to base. Travs? Travs. Now Stephen looking at Nelson. There's no way. Well, he's bought the Echo. Maybe if he can convert this Echo into a kill or two, maybe it's worth it. Trenchy trying to hide to go on Nelson, but he's seen by these creeps that Stephen's just dragged over here. But nevertheless, Nelson's just stood in a place where this can happen. And then Phil has TP'd in and then disconnected, which is a brave move. Simado never skips Echo. Yeah, I don't know, Stephen. I just saw it in a program the other day where they very much were having a miserable game on Tiny, so they delayed. They didn't skip Echo. He went back to it after buying Shard. Because the view is that the Shard timing is just so darn important, you can't really afford to delay it. Well, we'll just skip through this pause, I think. Okay. I imagine they should be about to unpause. Matt is TPing in as well. Maybe they think they can do this. Glimpse is on cooldown, so. Is someone else TPing there? No. Matt cancelled his TP, so Phil is in the Thunderdome, as I believe Trenchy would call it. But they do manage to get Custard in the top lane with a Snapfire ult and a Shrek. Nah, BKB is so good here for Dire. Claire is now finished on Goon. And, I mean, the main thing is just Matt's quite significantly ahead of the other cores, while Nelson is a small amount behind. 600 compared to about 1,000. Again, otherwise the supports are all pretty equivalent. They are going to look to defend top tower. I don't think this is going to work. I think this tower is dead. Oh, Custard has his blink. He finds Matt, but Goon and Trenchy are caught by the Underlord pit. They do get Matt though, but the Edict's just going to take them out. There's just more Radiant heroes here than Dire heroes is a lot of the problem. I think they bought everything. I think Fix is probably dead here. No? Well, that's an aggressive one from Mr. Misshook. Meanwhile, many triangles away, we are stacking the jungle. I think the thing about like if Tomato is doing that, it's presumably because he's a more active pos one than you like to be, Steve. And if you're just going to jungle non-stop, you're going to jungle way quicker with your shard than with an echo.
Scanning for enemies.
Like if you're going to do this echo, I think it has to be converted into some kills or at least some picks or something. Or at least prioritize. Sorry, I don't mean do this echo, but you know, prioritize it over getting your shard timing as early as possible. Wait, hold on, what? You're buying pieces of your Shadow Blade without shard? That just seems wild to me. Bronze tiny Pepe hands. Matt just running in with a haste rune. Custard's going to end up paying the price here, but Custard does completely the right thing, let's be clear. The others are running away that way. Custard turns around and runs the other way, so they're not all going to get run down. So that's just completely the correct thing to do. But they're in a bit of a rough place here now. What's the lash on? I think Matt's going to try and greed for the KNS before he gets to the BKB. Might be a mistake if he does, but we'll see. And I understand from Mr. Bevan that Matt should just be buying a Lincoln's smiley face. Oh, in the triangle, they catch out the Bane, and he's dead. I presume that's Missuk's shot? No, he hasn't got a shot yet. That's fair. I think Missuk's right into laying his shard, so... In other news, Finland want to join NATO. Oh, Kieran getting caught out by the cookie into stun. I think he's just dead here, yep. That's really nicely linked up by Alex and Matthew there. Man, this is such a hard place to be as the Void Spirit, because I'm just like, don't delay your BKB, just get it. But on the other hand, I know you'll be sat there just like, but I can spend 450 gold to finish a KNS. Timings are hard, man. Yes, Steam's got a Shadow Blade now, so I think the thing is this will be fine if we see this convert into some activity and kills. Otherwise, it's just slowly farming down. I mean, ultimately, everything I'm saying is my view, right? I'm not saying it's, oh gosh, the cookie play, we'll finish that thought afterwards. It's a good toss, but if they bring in the Underlord as well, they're going to get the 2 kills here, if not more. I hope Trenchy's leaving. Yeah. These things happen. Yeah, so my point is just, everything I'm saying is obviously just my thought process, but I'm not going to treat my thoughts as if they're wrong. I believe I'm right. You can think I'm a fucking idiot. That's entirely your prerogative. Right, so Custard's going on Misshook here. Again, though, I don't think they have the damage for this. Maybe they will? With Trenchy here as well? It's not quick, but I think they've got this. Nice. Here comes the mat. Cookie comes out to stop the TP. Trenchy ults Alex for his trouble, but there's no way out for him. And now Finally, all 3 Radiant cores ahead of their dire counterparts, so it feels like a good place for the Radiant right now. That said, some BKBs, and I think this swings around pretty quickly. BKBs are very good for both teams here, I will say that. What's Nelson on now? Manta, anything else? 8 point. No, it's because he's got the 1700 gold held there. So he's just going Manta into Skadi. Seems fine. Matt's setting a trap in this bot area. There's a dire smoke going out into this jungle now. Steven isn't smoked with this team, but he is shadow bladed.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
He's just going to go smack this mid tower, and quite right too. Custard looking to buy a pipe. Don't buy a pipe, just buy a fucking BKB. Pet peeves. That's a really nice call though.
No good. No.
Call, grip, disruptor, double dunk. Very nice. Up to 6 cooldown armor now on this axe. Do lose their bot tower for the trouble, and they are going to lose their top tower next time anyone goes near it, but nevertheless, important set of kills there. Really helping propel Custard along, and Custard's doing very nicely here. Notwithstanding this pipe that he's trying to buy. Norma doesn't believe in the shard because she wants you to throw the tree so she can go and get it, Andy. Just to kind of reinforce quite how determined I am to make this point about BKBs on 3s. In my blooming Sanking game yesterday, I wanted to buy an Ethereal Blade. It would have been way more fun, but I bought a BKB because it was clearly the right item to win us the game. Or, well, do the most that my hero can to contribute towards winning the team the game. Sanking BKB sounds super weird, but don't really give a shit. It was clearly the right item to have. Yeah, Steven's going to have a BKB next now, so... Yeah, we've done the shard conversation to death, but the BKB is clearly an important thing to have. Oh, Trenchy gets a really nice ult on this Matt hero, who is just stuck in it, and Steven's wailing on him, but the Medusa ult's going to result in them trading, but they do get him down first, and Steven does get the kill gold. Custard is getting run down. I think he might be in trouble here, though. He's tried to commit back in. His blade mail is on cooldown, though. Goons come over the top. Goon realises they're not going to get the Medusa. He's trying to run down the Snapfire, but he misses the Remnant, and doesn't... He does have another step, actually. Just came off cooldown, but doesn't have the damage to finish it. Oh, a lovely cookie. Into Atos, into Pit. Needs to dissimulate. Which way is he going to go? He goes back in to get the Alex kill. Very nice. Clearly the Chad players to try and escape through the pit. Except this way he actually lives. Nicely done from Goon. Fight ends up being a 2 for 2. Trading 1 and 3 for 2 and 4. But Dyer being behind will be relatively pleased with that, I think. Did I get any more dunks there? I don't think we did. No. Sad egg. Yeah, hard game to find your fights in, I think. And I think BKB is vital for the game. Oh, and you've done the disassemble to get it. Nice. I presume you... Are we going to go back and refinish the Echo? I presume we will. Is there anything else that Oblivion Staff even builds into nowadays? Mage Slayer. Yeah, I somehow doubt we're going to see that. I mean, it would give you away to Bloodthorn, but... Mage Slayer the Slash, actually, Pog. Any Mage Slayers in chat? Cheaper to complete a Mage Slayer than an Echo, but I think you need the attack speed, memes aside. Just throw the tree, good. Gaben's feelings right now is this 75-25. Doesn't seem unreasonable, I think, that. 3-1. Yeah. I think we're going to see a smoke come out here. Trenchy's got one, yep. Radiant don't see it happen, so should in theory get caught by this. What can Dire see? So Dire they can see this Lash in the bot lane. They will have just got a glimpse of the Medusa behind them. And now they can see that Underlord as well. They should know they're about to find Matt, though. Man, where'd he go? He's there! Goon goes for him immediately. Custard with the blade mail. Matt's turned on his ult, so he's just dead. They get the dunk as well, very nice. We'll turn full vision on now, because Nelson's just turned up. He's ulted, he's run straight into the middle of the team. We've got a snap ult coming over the top. The glimpse does slow down the damage coming out. There's a good 4-staff. Now, Fix finds the grip. They do lose Goon, though. Stevens BKB'd is in. That means he survives with the cookie as well. He's just staying on Nelson. But I'm not sure they have the damage now. Meanwhile, Trenchy goes down as well. Matt brought back. And that's going to be a full team wipe. That looked like it was about to go really good. It was good grip. They got a really good kill on Matt to start the fight, but... Misuk did an underestimated amount of damage in that fight, almost as much as the other two. And they've taken the Underlord gate straight to the top lane. Man, my throat hurts. So I think this is a Lano X.
All in service to imbalance.
So I just send a very, very fast work email. So we miss out on Steven killing Phil. Now they're on to Misuk. He gets cookied, but because he's stuck with the disruptor thing, it doesn't move him out of it. They toss him. I think they are going to kill Misuk here, so they're going to get 2 very good kills following losing that lane. Thing is that they can't really turn this into a Roche or anything, because they just don't Roche quick enough. Blink would have been better than Shadowblade. Yeah, I mean, I've played a bit of Pos 1 Tiny recently, and I've just been still going Echo Blink or Blink Echo and then Shard. Or at least if I've been doing okay out of lane. Really does depend on that though, because I've also been maxing Avalanche, which I know is not the done thing in the pro games I've watched. But I just like to have the damage. I do think there are a lot of perfectly valid ways of doing Tiny right now, and there's the hero has such a high win rate with a bunch of inconsistency in how people are playing it. Could mean that flexibility is, you know, valuable and we need to interpret when to be flexible in different ways. Or it could just mean, you know, hero's busted and, you know, you can clown around and it still looks really good. Right. So Nelson is now comfortably the top of the net worth. He's got his Skadi and he's about to have his Deadless. He's in a really good place. How do you finish his build? Probably, I don't know, BKB Swiftblink, BKB Butterfly, something like that. God, I remember when Lincoln's used to be all the rage on Medusa. It's just completely dead as a Medusa I am now. Oh, he's got a DD. Stay away.
The jungle has everything Axe desire.
I think these guys might be dead. No? No, they're going into Roche though? No? Oh, they catch the Ice Path onto Custard. Alex doesn't manage to find the scatter stone. But Missuk's just gonna pop into the middle of them? No. Yeah? That seems to take longer than... um... Oh, Phil got left behind! Oh no! TP response is coming out, fixing these trees. I really like this thing I've seen a few people doing of just warding up here when they start pushing this and just finding themselves getting a free kill on supports that TP into there. Oh, the cookie comes out. Fix's gonna die. That's a really nice call, but they do live through it. Matt limps away. Maybe the tree grab would have killed him. Don't think so, but ends up being a 3-for-1 with the Lash having had to go home. They can't bring him back out, can they? No. Still, Radiant happy with that exchange. Okay. So they do get the Roche now. They put it on Matt, which is right. He's going for quite the conservative Shivas actually here. Not going for anything more fun. Sad egg. Okay, Steven has the shard. He's got his crit. He's going to have a silver edge shortly. I mean, this Tiny's now going to be doing a lot of damage in fights. I think Medusa might be quite good against Tiny though because of the ult. Radiant are pretty set they want to push in the bot lane, which makes sense. The side lanes are better sieging than the mid lane because the space in which you're defending is much narrower. If you see my point, if you want to defend, you only have that kind of space. You can get quite blocked up over here, while defending mid lane, you've got a lot more kind of lateral movement available. Anyway, yeah. So we've got Nelson just farming away. He's got his Daedalus. He's going for the butterfly. I think he should get BKB first, but I mean, not precious. Missuk's cast his thing on himself because he has shard. He's got an Axe now. I'm much less offended by this Axe as like like a 4th or 5th item. Really, I think it should be 5th or 6th. I think there's probably something else he could have wanted first, like a Lotus, maybe. But yeah. Oh, they use the ult for a pit, but it doesn't really amount to anything. Oh, the Nightmare screws up Steven's burst onto him, but that's still just, he just popped a very low commitment. Okay, they do end up having to use Goon's BKB, but that's still quite a small commitment. They get the call, they use everything, and that's Matt dead, but that is a huge snap ult coming up. Nelson's got no mana. I think you can go in here. Goon buy back? No, Goon didn't buy back. Custer bought back. But it's a good buyback either way. I think this is a one fight for the. It must be a one fight for Dire. Oh my gosh, Goon goes down there. Should dissimilate it to the other one. I don't think Custer's going to die back there. I think this is going to be a full cleanup. Yep. Nice. Absolutely huge for the Dire. That. What a great swing of momentum, and this Tiny is looking strong. Come for the Moonshard now. I think that's good. I quite like the Satanic as well, but yeah, Moonshard would allow. Like, if they can just kill the Lash like they did there, suddenly this Shiva's the Lash building makes a lot more sense to me. I think putting it on map probably was right, Andy. Um, just the way that that siege kind of went was a bit. Yeah, I don't know.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
He's changing for. So hold on, Matt has got burst like that and decided that what he needs isn't a Shivas, it's a sheep.
Radiant's bottom tower
It's a thought process, I guess, or is it an Eon Disc? I mean, the Eon Disc, kind of. Yeah, fine, but shh. Let's not give him credit for things. Steven is running around on quite low health now. He does have his Moonshard though. And just that engagement caught him completely up with Andy, and you know they're now 1 and 2 on the net worth comfortably. Goon's also in a good place on the net worth. He's going to have an Ag soon, which I mean he's about to have just all the core items in a Voice of his toolkit. And suddenly I bet the Wimpo multi swung down. What? I think he's 81. It's not 81. It's giving a lot of credit. Wow, I thought it was up to 94 before, that's why. It's giving a lot of credit to the fact this lane of Axe is gone. I don't think that's so consequential here. If it were 2 lanes, completely agree. I think the game will basically be over if it were 2 lanes. I'm not sure 1 lane is particularly consequential though. Okay, we see a smoke come out from the Dire. The Radiant are all playing quite tightly together though. Steven and the Shadow Blade, he's going to see a smoke break. He's going to see Nelson. He doesn't want to start on Nelson. Instead, Custer's going to start on Nelson. He's going to go and kill the Snapfire. So they do immediately kill the Snap to start the fight. Out comes Nelson's ult, and they're not actually going to convert too much from it. Matt's running away under his Trickster Cloak. So the end result of that is just going to be no BKBs used from Dire. No significant cooldowns used. While all the significant cooldowns, other than Matt's BKB, I want to say, were used by Radiant. Dire should want to fight again, if they've caught track of that. They should be going again. I don't know why Radiant think they're the team that should be going. That is a bizarre interpretation of what just happened. Oh god, is Steven going to get himself caught in the mid lane though? You've got to be so careful doing these split pushy things against this Underlord Ags. That I will say. Shadowblade's up the hill, runs around the Edict. Very good play there, so he doesn't get... if that Edict otherwise could have triggered 2 or 3 times in a row on him, and they would have known that he was there invisible. Instead, Radiant... They've made the sweeping cross map play, but they've swept backwards, so they've surrendered some map pressure in doing so. And now Matt's got the haste soon. He's running up towards where Steven's farming, running up towards this top lane that's already pushing itself in. He's going to hide in the trees. No? Not sure what he's doing then. Oh, the rest of his team's moving up here. But they're not going to get anything done here. They're just going to recap the outpost and move on with their lives. Any items to check in on? Goon correctly holding buyback, waiting for his axe. Custard buying a halberd. I mean, halberd's very good against Medusa. I'm sad he hasn't got a shard. I'm sad he hasn't got a BKB. But I can't complain about halberd realistically. Trenchy working on an axe, 2-piece, no buyback. Fix going now for a lens, but he also already has the headband to give him quite some decent cast range. Meanwhile on the other side, Snap, Blink, they've got the Solar Crest, so their Roche is very good now. Butterfly is going to come out in a moment on Nelson, he's got a DD rolling. Misshook working on Ashivas, maybe one of the reasons Matt stopped buying his own. But he, very close, he's got gripped. Oh my god, he's gonna live. And that's a great ult from Nelson actually, and they've completely saved this. Great work to come in with that Underlord ult, and a great ult. And I think that might be game. Steven has to buy back, but they've got no custody, no fix. There's some humour coming out, apparently. Let's just skip through the pause. Okay, here we go. So they're coming to siege here. Steven brought back, he's picked up a tree. He's cleaning out these creeps in the top. But they're losing their mid tower very quickly. Matt gets glimpsed home. Good ult from Trenchy, but they're all able to walk out of it. Goons had to use his he's walked in, used his BKB, Trenchy goes down. That's an Eon disc on Phil. Nice purchase from Phil there. Goon gets tossed into an ice path. Steven actually griefing. And Steven's going to go down here. That's a dieback. It should be game. And that one fight where they came so close to killing Matt and didn't has decided the game. Could be an argument as to why the win probability was right, if you see what I mean. All they need to do is win one fight, while it felt like Dyer had to keep winning fights. I expect we'll see them try and jump in now, but they're not realistically going to be able to do anything. Nope, they even get the hex and stuff, and that's game one. Congratulations to Bring Back Buckets. Appropriate team name, correct suggestion, and I will do game two at another point when my throat hurts less. So for now, it's gonna be. Hold on. Goodbye from me. And goodbye from the small dog.